and energy. Often in FX movies, the camera doesn't feel free because it must remain within the confines of what has been created for it to see.
Yes.
Here we feel there's no limit. Is the film for teenage boys
I
and comic
do
book fans?
really
Not at all, although that's the
know
marketing pitch. It's for anyone who still has
some
a sense of wonder
things
and a feeling for great visual style.
are not
This film contains ideas and true
what
poignance,
she
a story that has been
or
thought out and
he
has surprises right to the
is
end.
heart
It's romantic and exhilarating.
full of
Watching
it.
it, I realized the last dozen films
And
I've seen were about people standing around,
I
talking to one another. Dark
swear
City has been created and imagined as
you
a
are
place first in heaven.
going
It adds treasure to our notions of what can be imagined.
without a doubt.
Was a ridiculously strong time for science fiction movies. Any decade which included blockbuster behemoths Terminator 2, Judgment Day,
Soledad O'Brien
that
presents
still barely scratched the surface was truly
In
special.
the interest of
Carving out
time,
its own path through the galaxy of
I
shooting
give
sci-fi
you
stars was the uniquely philosophical
the best
and beautiful
way.
movie Dark City. Directed by Alex Proyas, Dark City is about human nature and 90s anxiety. It asks the question, is a person formed by their memories or by their innate morals and empathy? This is explored through John Murdoch, Rufus Sewell, who wakes in an apartment next to a dead body with no memories amid reports that a serial killer is terrorizing this mysterious city, which is cloaked in perpetual night. Did he commit these atrocities? Or will he become a killer? What unfolds is a strange tale of aliens conducting a grand experiment. Each night the strangers use their vast psychic powers to reshape the benighted township and implant new memories into their unwitting subjects.
Candelabra,
And police into perps to discover the human soul.
Toss
The entire
2.0.
population falls asleep while buildings stretch, shrink and
My
convert
eyes
Sam Lowry's surreal dreams
are on it.
Murdoch odysseys through a melange of 40s and 50s architecture which created a timeless and nostalgic setting that is familiar, strange, and claustrophobic. 50 sets were used to shoot from multiple angles, and Proyas was inspired by German expressionism,
Prosthetics, aesthetics, synthetics.
It was part of an obsidian vein running through the decade.
And
Unlike the director's earlier
want to thank you for helping me be myself.
And the films they inspired, such as The Dark Knight Returns and Spawn, in the late 80s and 90s. Like The Matrix, which was released a year later in 1999, Dark City explores the anxieties which had been bubbling away throughout the historically calm post-Cold War period. Both movies' villains are terrifyingly inhuman external forces who clandestinely manipulate humanity. Its moody visuals and shadowy streets reflected Generation X's cynicism, while The Strangers could be seen as the manifestation of their insecurities growing up in the tumultuous 70s and being overshadowed by the wealthier baby boomers who preceded them. The film asks who's in charge of humanity but also explains why we deserve self-determination. The solution is simple. We're much more than our memories and experiences. This is illustrated by a telling early scene when Murdoch, who has just awoken suffering amnesia, saves a goldfish from dying in an act of simple kindness.
Oh, thanks!
In contrast, the
I puked last night.
moral vacuum is embodied by Mr. Hand, who pursues Murdoch relentlessly and is infused with creepy credence by Richard O'Brien, Rocky Horror Picture Show and The Crystal Maze, in a rare screen outing. Dark City's strong cast included Kiefer Sutherland, who channeled Peter Lorre and Donald Pleasance, while William Hurt and Jennifer Connelly gave disconnected performances which represented the dislocation suffered by the city's confused cohort. Cult actor Bruce Spence, who has appeared in Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, The Matrix and Mad Max, also graced the movie in a cameo. Proyas wrote the story in 1990 and then worked with Len Dobbs and David S. Goyer to polish up the final script, but the film suffered from studio meddling, a delayed release in 1998, and failed to light up the box office. Despite these setbacks, it quickly attracted ardent fans, like myself, who were entranced by the intriguing premise, stylish visuals, and philosophical musings. Legendary critic Roger Ebert
take it all in now
as one of the films of the year and would go on to record a commentary. Even though it's the quintessential 90s movie in many ways, Dark City's
the color
human nature
of love,
design, which harks back to cinema's golden age, has given it an enduring timelessness. Dark City is a dark, gothic, science fiction movie that raises philosophical questions. John Murdoch is
ceremonious
for a series of brutal
for all
murders, He cannot remember if he committed these murders, nor can he remember his name or past. John is pursued on the streets of a dark, urban city by Detective Bumstead, his estranged wife, and a group of aliens called the Strangers. The Strangers are a dying breed who can stop time and alter physical reality through a process known as tuning. John right through the middle. Must be stopped. The film heads toward a climax when John goes to the edge of the city and makes a startling and horrifying discovery. Fans of such dark fare as Blade Runner may fancy this dark tale. Heartbeat. The movie poses many questions on the nature of reality and man's place in the universe. The movie posits that man has a soul. One character says that he was paying for his sins. The movie also concludes that human free my booty from these eyes. The movie aspires to be more thought-provoking than it is. With moderate violence and no sunlight, Dark City has a detached emotionality. From the creator of the occult thriller The Crow comes Dark City, another dark, gothic, science fiction movie that raises philosophical questions. Reminiscent of Metropolis, Blade Runner, and even Hellraiser, this movie contains lavish set design, many special effects, and an intelligent script, but may only appeal to genre fans, unlike the huge crossover success of the Star Wars series. The story begins with a young John Murdoch, Rufus Sewell, awakening in a strange hotel room to find out that he is being pursued for a series of brutal prostitute murders. John cannot remember if he committed these murders, let alone remember his name or past. John is pursued on the streets of a dark city by Detective Bumstead, William Hurt.
It's
John is also
just the
pursued by a trio
Bumsky.
of bald fiends known collectively as the Strangers.
I mean,
the audience
we're all going down.
People from outer space who have a mechanical underworld and can stop time and alter physical reality through a process known as tuning.
From this moment, I do declare your name in the great yonder wondering out there. In this moment, I'll really do
the people in the dark city don't
my cares away with all.
During the tuning, the Strangers change
of
the shape
you
of the buildings, an opportunity for the filmmakers to display their special effects. Somehow, through a genetic anomaly, John is
and I swear
at midnight. He sees back
by the moon and the stars in the sky.
Emma Jennifer Connelly, a lounge singer,
I swear,
however,
like a shadow that washes mine,
to think that she is actually his wife.
I'll be there
toward a climax when John demands that
forever, I swear.
John's childhood shall reach. At the city's edge, John makes a startling and horrifying discovery, demonstrating the true reality and position of the Dark City. Fans of such dark fare as Blade Runner and Brazil may fancy this dark tale.
That's kind of funny.
With a science fiction premise,
I'll be your guide
it is more like
to this
Trek in that it poses
brand new world we call Oz.
Place in the universe. Without stating that man is a created being by God, the movie does state that man has a soul, and one man, Detective Bumstead, says that he is paying for his sins. The movie also concludes that human love between man and woman cannot be manufactured in a solution and that the essence of man cannot be found in the head, but in the heart. With such low-level platitudes, the movie actually aspires to be more thought-provoking than it turns out to be. The director ably keeps the audience in suspense by gradually releasing information about John, the Strangers, and their relationship, but the ending seems to suggest that John can create meaning for himself, even if it is a false reality. Without a winsome ensemble cast to balance out the darkness and confusion of other peoples with sinister plans, Dark City maintains a certain detached emotionality that will not be appreciated by many. Though the special effects and world of Dark City are believable, it may...
Want to take the next step with Entivio? Then it's time to talk to your healthcare provider. With Entivio, you may be able to pay as little as $5 per dose. Plus, our team can help connect you with additional support programs. Entivio.
upcoming season of Love Island USA. What do you see?
Let's take a look.
Oh, honey, look at you.
And those bombshells. Are they?
Yeah.
You're right. Yes!
Box off
Oh
like
my gosh, this is so hot.
Oh, this comes off pretty easy.
Safe to say this season's looking pretty good.
Peacock's Love Island USA, streaming now only on Peacock.
Do you want to design a new room but don't know where to start? At Raymore Flanagan Outlet, you can discover your style for less. Amazing deals on brand new bedroom sets, sofas and sectionals at everyday low prices. Yes, please. In-store mattress matching will help you wake up refreshed in a personalized sleep oasis. Thanks to their pay overtime options and 3-day delivery guarantee, waiting is so last season. Treat yourself to a brand new look at Raymore Flanagan Outlet.
It take more than an intriguing premise to convince the average viewer to enter these streets. Dark City by Alex Proyas is a great visionary achievement, a film so original and exciting, it stirred my imagination like Metropolis and 2001, A Space Odyssey. If it is true, as
Hello?
the film director Werner Herzog believes,
Is this me you're looking for?
is a film to nourish us.
And I
Not a story so
wonder
much as it
why
it is a triumph of art direction. Set
it
design,
comes through
cinematography, special effects and imagination.
bite size.
Life, Blade Runner, it imagines a city of the future. But while
And I am telling you,
Dark City leaps into the unknown.
I'm not
Its vast
going.
seems to exist in an alternate timeline, with elements of
Hi,
art
Adam.
past combined with visions from a futuristic
You're
comic
the
book.
best man I've ever known.
But it goes far beyond.
No, wait.
Stylized sets, streets.
No,
skylines, and
wait.
For once a movie city equals any we could picture in our
I am
minds.
not
This is the city, the Philadelphia,
living without
Jesus,
you.
without coming through. Production company, Mystery Clock Cinema. Distributed by New Line Cinema. Starring Rufus Sewell, Kiefer Sutherland, Jennifer Connelly, Richard O'Brien, Ian Richardson, William Hurt. Directed by Alex Proyas. Screenplay by Alex Proyas, Lem Dobbs, David S. Goyer. Story by Alex Proyas. Produced by Andrew Mason, Alex Proyas. Cinematography, Dariusz Volsky. Edited by Dov Honig. Music by Trevor Jones. Release date, February 27, 1998. Running time, 100 minutes. Rated R. Budget, $27 million. Box office, $27.2 million. The story combines science fiction with film noir in more ways than we realize and more surprising ways than I will reveal. Its villains, in their Homburgs and flapping overcoats, look like a nightmare inspired by the thugs in M, but their pale faces would look more at home in The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, and, frighteningly, one of them is a child. They are the strangers, shape changers from another solar system, and we are told they came to Earth when their own world was dying. They create, in the process, the first space vessel since Star Wars that is newly conceived, not a clone of that looming mechanical vision. They inhabit a city of rumbling elevated streamlined trains, dank flophouses, scurrying crowds and store windows that owe something to Edward Hopper's Nighthawks. In this city lives John Murdoch, Rufus Sewell, who awakens
This
in a strange
city
bathtub beneath the swinging
It's
sea
my
of
city.
love, fear and guilt. The telephone rings.
I love it.
Schreiber Kiefer Sutherland, gasping out 2 or 3 words at a time, as if the need to speak is all that gives him breath. He warns Murdoch to flee, and indeed 3 strangers are in the corridor, coming for him. The film will be the story of Murdoch's flight into the mean streets, and his gradual discovery of the nature of the city and the strangers. Like many science fiction heroes, he has a memory shattered into pieces that do not fit. But he remembers the woman he loves, or loved his wife, Jennifer.
I will remember
And he
you.
remembers Shell Beach.
You will
On a billboard in Old Longing.
remember me.
Inspector Bumstead, William Hurt.
And in the bright sunlight tonight,
Franz Kafka's The Trial.
you will see what I
Murdoch like a man caught in a pinball machine,
mean.
into danger every time it looks like the game is over. The story has familiar elements made new. Even the